Hello viewers, today's topic is recursive descent parsing. As you know that recursive descent parsing comes under the top-down parsing. Basically top-down parsing starts building the tree from the root symbol. That means what? Suppose that you are given with a grammar and in that grammar the start symbol is E. It will always start from the start symbol and go towards the terminal that are given in the given statement. Each production corresponds to one recursive procedure. In recursive descent parsing, each production, like just consider this production. In this production, this E, left side E, becomes the procedure here. That means for every production that are written in the grammar, like if the production is A derives to BC and then B derives to C, then C derives to D, and like this. So in this case there will be 1, 2, 3 procedures. Every production corresponds to one recursive procedure. Here in recursive descent parsing we are using the recursive procedures, that's why it is known as recursive. Each procedure recognizes an instance of a non-terminal, returns tree fragment for the non-terminal. That means what? If it just recognizes instance of a non-terminal, that is what A, it just return the tree fragment for A derives to BC. That means this one tree fragment is returned by this procedure A. Likewise for B, it will return the tree fragment as B derives to C. Likewise for C, it will return C derives to D. Each right hand side of a production provides body for a function. It means what? Suppose that there is a production A derives to BC. The right hand side of this production BC, it provides the body of the function A. That means you will write a function A and inside this function in the body B and C will be mentioned here. It provides the body. Each non-terminal on the RHS is translated into a call to the function that recognizes that non-terminal. That means when you start to write the function for A, inside that you will call B, because this is non-terminal here and C is also non-terminal here. You will call B as well as you will call C. Each terminal in the RHS is translated into a call to the lexical analyzer or scanner. That means if you are getting any terminal in the right hand side of the production like this one, in that case when you are getting D, it will call the lexical analyzer to check that the token corresponding this D is right or wrong. If I am getting the expected token, or you can say the terminal corresponding D, in that case there is no error, otherwise there will be an error. Each recognizing function returns a tree fragment. For example, there is a production E prime derives to plus I E prime. It will be translated into, first we will get token plus, you can see here this one. I am just discussing the body of E prime. There will be a function E prime and inside that what we will do? We will just get the token plus to check that this plus is correct. Then get token I, this I. Then call function E prime. Then this E prime function will be called. Problems. If there are multiple productions for a non-terminal, remember that non-terminal, we need a mechanism to determine which production to use. Like here I have taken the multiple productions for a non-terminal. I have taken the example as A derives to small a, capital A, or AD. Here you can see if I have called A, either I had to use this AA or AD. We should have some mechanism to decide that either I have to use AA or AD. When next token is A, we can't tell that which production to use, because we know that if I am getting the input as A, in both cases I am getting here A, so I am not able to decide that either I have to use AA or AD. So we have to some mechanism. For that purpose we are using the left factoring. Solution is what? Factorize the grammar. That is also known as left factoring. Rewrite the grammar as this way, because our grammar was what? A raised to AA or AD. And we know that if the grammar production is written like this, A raised to alpha beta or alpha gamma. In this case, this alpha and alpha is same. That is that creates the non-deterministic, that provides the non-determinism in this grammar. How it can be removed? We have to write this grammar like this one: A raised to alpha A prime and A prime raised to beta or gamma. In this way I can remove the non-determinism from this grammar. You can see here, if the production is A raised to CD or CB, it can be written as A raised to C, this one, C, both are same here, C A prime. You can take here any variable. I have taken here A prime, and the variable that is written here should not be present in the original grammar. Remember that, should not be present in the original grammar. Here I have taken the A prime and then write A prime raised to the remaining part of this, that is what D, this one, and the remaining part of this, that is what B, this one. In this way, if the grammar is this one and we want to perform the left factoring in this grammar, or we want to remove the we want to factorize this grammar, so we will write this grammar as A raised to this is small A prime, and A prime raised to the remaining part of this one, that is what A, and the remaining part of this one, that is what D, A or D. This is the factorization of the grammar. That means what? When we are writing the recursive descent parsing, we have to consider that if the grammar contains left factoring, in that case we have to remove the left factoring from the grammar. But there are some situations in which we are able to write the functions. We have to just look into that. Second problem, grammar cannot be left recursive. Like, you know that what is the meaning of left recursion? If the grammar is written like this, A raised to A alpha or beta. In this case, if I use this production to find out the string, always when I call A, it will just call A. Then when I call this one A, it can be written as A alpha. In this way we will call A. That means it recursively call A, and it will goes into the infinite loop. That's why the left recursion creates the problem in recursive descent parsing. Now you can see here this grammar is also written in this form: E raised to E plus T or T. Here this one is A, this one is A, this one is alpha plus T is alpha, and this one T is beta. Remember that this symbol and this symbol should be same. That's why I am writing here A raised to A. This one is A, alpha becomes the remaining part of this, that is plus T, and this one is T, that's why it becomes beta. Problem is what? To find an E, start by finding an E. That means when we call a function corresponding E, then when we write the function corresponding E, it will just call E first, and it will goes into the infinite loop that creates the problem. That's why we have to remove the left recursion from the grammar. Here it is written: original scheme leads to infinite loop. Grammar is inappropriate for recursive descent. The solution is what? Just remove the left recursion. How we can remove the left recursion? If the grammar is A raised to A alpha or beta, it can be written after removing the left recursion as A raised to beta A prime. Just take a variable that if the variable should not be present in the original grammar. Here I have taken A prime, and then A prime raised to alpha A prime or empty. Look at here. First write A derives to beta, this one A prime, and A prime derives to this one alpha, A prime or empty. In this way, if the grammar is given like this, A derives to AB or D. You can see here there is a left recursion. A, this one is alpha and this one is beta. So that's why it is written as A derives to D, beta, A prime, and A prime derives to alpha, that is B, A prime or empty. What I am doing here? Here I am just converting left recursion into right recursion. So our grammar was what? E derives to E plus T or T. It can be written as A derives to, that is E derives to beta, that is T, E prime, and E prime derives to plus T E prime plus T E prime or empty. Now there is one more thing that is known as indirect left recursion. Indirect left recursion means what? If you just see this grammar. In this grammar, this is A, this is B, this is A, this is D, this is B, this is A, this is B, this is F. So there is no left recursion. But this grammar can be rewritten as, if I just put in place of B, you know that B can be replaced by AE or F. If I just replace this B by AE and F, now our grammar becomes A derives to AEC, AEC, and if I replace this B by F, now it becomes FC or D. Now you can see here there is a left recursion. A derives to A, this is alpha 1. This one is beta 1. This one is beta 2. How you can remove the left recursion? The general rule for removing the left recursion is if there is a production A derives to A alpha 1 or A alpha 2, so on, A alpha n or beta 1 or beta 2, so on, or beta n. Then left recursion can be removed as A derives to beta 1 A prime or beta 2 A prime, so on, beta n A prime, and A prime derives to alpha 1 A prime or alpha 2 A prime, and so on, alpha n A prime or empty. In this way you can remove the left recursion from this grammar and then apply the previous method. That means just remove the left recursion from this grammar. You will get a grammar that does not have the left recursion. Now what are the problems? Basically the transformation does not preserve the associativity. That means if I just transform this grammar by just removing the left recursion by this grammar, it does not preserve the associativity. You can see that. If I apply this grammar, E derives to E plus T, then I can write here E plus T. Now if there are production like this one, E derives to E plus T or T, then there are some production in this grammar like this one, and T derives to F and F derives to ID. Suppose that these are the productions that are also written in this grammar. In that case I can write it as I can use the production E derives to T, so it will be T here, then T derives to F, then F derives to ID, and here I can write T derives to F and F derives to ID. This one T derives to F and F derives to ID. This ID is A, suppose that this ID is B and this ID is C. How this parse T will be evaluated? You can see here, just come here bottom, then go to up. First this plus will be evaluated. That means if I am writing A plus B plus C, then it will be evaluated as first A plus B will be performed, then C will be added in the result of A plus B. You can see here, first this plus will be plus, or you can say the addition operation will be performed here, then this addition operation will be performed. Now if I am taking this grammar, and here also these productions are written, T derives to F and F derives to ID and like that. Now if I am using this grammar, now our parse T will be like this. E derives to TE prime. Then T derives to F, F derives to ID. Now I can write it as E derives to plus T E prime. Then this T derives to F and F derives to ID. It can be written as plus T E prime. This T derives to F, F derives to ID, and this E prime derives to empty. Now I am getting the same string A, this is B, this is C. How these will be evaluated? Just look into this. You have to come here, then you have to come here, then this one. I cannot evaluate this plus. Remember that this plus will be evaluated at this point when I will get the value of. Now this, just go to this, then this one, then this one, then go to this. Here I have got the value of T and the value of E prime. Now at this point this plus will be evaluated. So this plus will be evaluated first. Then when we will go to E, this plus will be evaluated. So here I am evaluating first B plus C, then A. So when I am performing the left recursion, when I am removing the left recursion from the grammar, basically the associativity changed. Now the topic is writing recursive descent parser. Suppose the grammar is S derives to AAB, A derives to CD or C. Here you can see that there is a left factoring, but it can be solved when I am writing the program for this recursive descent parser. But if the grammar is like this one, if the production was like this one, CD or C, then it will create the problem, because here C and C are the variables here. Now first, when you want to write the recursive descent parser, first you have to write the main. Now you can see what are the string. Just take only one string which can be accepted by this grammar, and you can see here A, C, D, B is accepted by this grammar. A, C, D, B is accepted by this grammar. Suppose that this is the input string which is given to you, and your task is to write a recursive descent parser by this grammar, by using this grammar. How you will write? First you will append the end marker in the given string, this one. I have appended the end marker as dollar here. Appended the end marker as dollar here. After appending the end marker, you know that when I am appending the end marker, our input pointer will be at dollar. Now just set input pointer at the leftmost token of the given string, at A only. You can see here when I am appending dollar, that means I am reading from A to B, then I will be able to append the dollar here. So our input pointer will be at dollar. I have to return at A now. That's why it is written as set the input pointer to the leftmost token of W. That W is the given string, this one, ACDB. Now you just look into the grammar. This is the start symbol. That means first I have to call this procedure, S procedure. Here it is written, if S not equal to error, that means this procedure does not return error. In that case we have to print successful parsing. Else what we have to do? Print failure. That means we have to print the string is not accepted. Here I am just calling first S. Now we have to write the procedure for S, or the body of S procedure. And our production was what? S derives to AAB. First we will get A here. So I have to check that if input equal to A, then advance. Advance is a routine. Basically this is a function that when called advances the input pointer to the next token of W. It will just advance the pointer by 1, input pointer by 1. Our string was what? A, C, D, B. That was our input string, this one, appended by end marker. Our pointer was at A. If input equal to A, then advance. That means just increase the input pointer by one position. Then what we will get here? A, capital A. If A not equal to error, that means we have to call the procedure A now. Procedure A now. Just go to procedure A. This is the procedure A. Our production was S raised to AB and A raised to CD. I am writing here C underscore. C underscore means small c. CD, this one. Procedure A, this one procedure. First we will get what? C in both case. That's why I have written here if input equal to C, then advance the input pointer only. Our string was what? ACDB dollar. Our pointer was at C. Advance the pointer by one position. That becomes at D now. If input equal to D, then advance. If input equal to D, then advance it. If input is D here, then we have to just advance our input pointer. That will be at B now. Advance, and we have to return from this procedure because this else will not be executed. That means I have returned from this procedure. We will go to here, this position. A not equal to error. I know that A is not equal to error. Then we will go to if input equal to B, that means this one. I am checking here this B. So our input pointer was at D, B. So B is correct now. Advance the input pointer. I advance the input pointer by one position, so it will be at dollar. If input equal to end marker, then return success. Here our input is dollar, so it will return the success now. It else will not be executed, and this else will not be executed. This else also will not be executed. So come to here. There is so S function S not equal to error. So we will just print the successful parsing. Now just remember that how it is called, because this is top down parsing. So first this will be like this one, then A raised to CD will be called. First I am calling here S, then I am checking what I am getting the input A. Yes, advance the pointer by 1, C, it will be at C. Then go to just call this procedure A, because you know that in the previous slide I have just told that if in the right side the variable is written, in that case that procedure is called. Just go to the procedure A, and in the procedure A just check that if the input is C, then advance the pointer, it will be at D. And if the input is D, then advance the pointer by one position, it will be at B. Then come to here and check this B. B is correct, yes, go to the dollar. And when I am getting that end marker, return success. That means our parsing is successful and this string is accepted now. Now another string that can be accepted by this grammar is ACB. Just append the end marker and call this as, go to S, this one. If input equal to A, yes, this is now our string becomes ACB dollar. Yes, input equal to A, advance the pointer, it will come at C now. If A not equal to, I am just calling here A procedure. Go to A procedure, this one. Now our string is ACB, and appended with dollar. If input equal to C, yes, C, then advance the pointer. And if input equal to D, because input is not equal to D, so it will just go, this if will not be executed. And what we will get, it will return the success because I am not executing here else part. And we will go to A, this procedure. If input equal to B, yes, input equal to B, this one, advance, it will goes to the dollar. If input equal to end marker, this dollar, return success, we will go to this here. This is not equal to error, print successful parsing. And in this way we can check that our string is accepted or not. Remember that when you are writing the recursive descent parser, the rules are what? For every production, the variable that is written on the left side, that becomes the procedure, and the right side of that production becomes the body of that function. Body of that function. These are the rules. Apply these rules when you are writing the recursive decision parser. Now there is a problem. Order of alternatives affect the language accepted by backtracking parser, because you know that this is a backtracking parser, recursive decision parser. Suppose that you are given with this grammar and your task is to check that this string is accepted or not. First you have applied s derives to AAB and your string is ACDB. It will check that A is correct. Now when I am getting here A, I have two alternatives. Either I have to use CD or C. Suppose that I have used C here. So it will check that this C is correct. Yes, C is correct. Here I am getting B, but our input string is what? D. In our input string the symbol is what? D, or you can say the token is what? D. So I am getting here error. It will goes to the parent and it will check that is there any other alternative of S? In this case, no. There is no alternative of S. There is only one production in the S. So it will just generate the error. So this string is not accepted. It will just check, it will just announce that this string is not accepted. That means what? When I am using the backtracking parser, which alternative I am using at that time, that affects the acceptance of that string. Now another, I am just taking the case that can be resolved here. If the string is ACB, which I have to check that it is accepted or not. If I have used first s derives to AAB, then in place of A I have written here CD, because I have used this production. A derives to CD. Now A is correct, this is correct. C is correct, yes, this is correct. Here it should be B. So I am getting here error. It will just go to the parent node and it will just find out, is there any other alternative of A? Yes, there is another alternative of A, that is what? C. So it will apply the another alternative, that is what? S derives to A, B, and then A derives to C. Now the string is accepted. This A is correct, C is correct, and B is correct. Now you can see in the recursive decision parser we have to check each and every alternative that are present in the grammar. Now that means what? When I am using the backtracking parser, we have to fix a method to decide the alternative. If I am not using the right alternative, in that case we will get the error also. And you can see here our string ACDB was accepted, but when I am using the wrong alternative, it derives to C, it will just announce that this string is not accepted by the grammar, this one. Now here also when I am backtracking to the parents, that means we have to maintain some information, that some information regarding the parents also. For example, in this case, who is the parent of A? That is S. There should be some information that should be maintained in the program, because I have to backtrack here. That's why it is known as backtracking parser. Thank you so much for viewing the lecture.